Hello everyone, dear parents, Group 10 scholars, fellows, senior scholars, our dear donors, friends of British Rwanda, our amazing staff. Welcome to the commissioning ceremony of British Rwanda Cohort 10. It's such a beautiful day here in Kigali, and our amazing British Rwanda Group 10 scholars have been working so hard preparing for this day. You know, it's been such a difficult year with the pandemic. So much has been going on, but these students did not let the pandemic bring them down. They worked hard, they prepared for the tests, applied to so many schools, and as I speak right now, each one of them has been admitted to a school and will be going to college this fall. So it's such a pleasure and a privilege for me, and I'm sure for you, to celebrate British Rwanda Cohort 10 as they're being commissioned. My name is Norris Kaitare, and I'll be your host for today's commissioning. As we get started, allow me to walk you through the program for the celebration today. We'll get started with a welcome note and evocation from our very own Happiness Uwase, the Managing Director of the Bridge Career Services. Right after her, we'll have a highlight of British Rwanda's 10-year anniversary. Can you imagine? It's been 10 years. 10 years of amazing progress, 10 years of excellence, 10 years of success. I am a product of the 10 years. So it's such a great honor for us to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of British Rwanda. So you'll get a chance to see all the highlights, everything that has been happening at British Rwanda over the past 10 years. There's been a lot of cohorts that have gone through British Rwanda. They have so many unique stories that each student has had, and you'll get a chance to see some of these highlights. After the British Rwanda 10-year anniversary highlight, we'll have a couple of speeches from two representatives of the scholars of British Rwanda Group 10, one from Brave Mugisha and another one from Jael Habinam. After these amazing speeches, we'll welcome our founder and CEO Dale Dawson to speak to us. After Dale's speech, we'll welcome our keynote speaker, Christelle Umubyeyi, an analyst at Dalberg, but also a Group 5 scholar. She actually graduated a couple of years ago. After the keynote speech from Christelle Umubyeyi, we'll go to my favorite part of the celebration, which is presenting certificates to the amazing Group 10 scholars. After the presentation of certificates for the Group 10 scholars, I will welcome Pastor James Muyango to pray and bless the students and commission them. Towards the end, we have a slideshow that highlights the scholars from Group 6 who recently graduated from university. Are you all as excited as I am? Let's get started. Allow me to welcome Happiness Uwase, the Managing Director for the Bridge Career Services, for the welcome note and evocation.
Thank you, Norris, for such a warm welcome. Good afternoon, everyone watching from Rwanda, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome to Bridge to Rwanda Class 10 commissioning event and celebration of Bridge to Rwanda's 10th year anniversary. Congratulations to Bridge to Rwanda Class 10. This is such a joyous day for you, for your families, and for all of us. Not only because you have successfully completed the Bridge to Rwanda Scholars Program, but because it marks the beginning of your journey that over 280 other scholars have embarked on. A journey of intellectual curiosity, personal growth, continued service in different communities, and in turn, shaping a better world. We cheer you on. Please join me from wherever you're watching from with a round of applause for Bridge to Rwanda Scholars Class 10. Also, allow me to take this opportunity and tell you how incredible and resilient Class 10 has been throughout this year, where scripts that were used to guide us were thrown outside the window. Class 10 was selected right before the world was shut down. They joined the program when we all did not know how to run the program, amid the challenges the pandemic still poses. However, thanks to a passionate and determined team, Class 10 was able to attend virtual classes during the lockdown. With patience, Class 10 demonstrated flexibility, a willingness to put in extra hours to study while supporting each other. I personally enjoyed how innovative this class was, hosting daily devotions on WhatsApp groups. Their prayers were certainly answered because they were eventually able to share their camaraderie that has strengthened the fellowship of classes before them in person. This class has made a mark on the Scholars Program and how it will be run here on out, in spite of the pandemic challenges. Class 10 has rewritten the script of shifting perspective, determination, hopefulness, cooperation, for which reason we are gathered here to celebrate their success for this past year. Class 10, thank you for all you've taught us this past year and for the blessing you have been to me and my team. My team can now confidently say, where there's a will, there is a way. As you head to your respective universities, remember this. We are proud of you, we love you, and you have unwavering support from us. We wish you a life of meaning and purpose. I would also like to take this opportunity to celebrate the achievement of all 287 scholars that have gone through the Bridge to Rwanda Scholars Program since 2011.
Thank you so much, Happiness. Now let's have a look back at the amazing things that have happened in Bridge to Rwanda over the past 10 years. This is the Bridge to Rwanda 10-year anniversary highlight. Enjoy.
Offer you the Augustinian Scholarship.
President Kagame came to me a few years after we started B2R and he said, will you create a program that will allow our kids, the smartest kids, to win full ride scholarships to America and bring them back? So we started the Bridge to Rwanda Scholars Program with the mission not only to give them a scholarship, more important, to build a fellowship of lifelong, globally educated leaders modeled after Jesus, who were committed to loving each other, loving their country, and improving the lives of all their other fellow citizens. What we determined is the way that we could help this country more than anything else was to invest in their next generation of leaders.
Bridge to Rwanda has impacted my life by becoming a literal bridge between me and opportunities that would help me explore my potential. It's one thing to give a country foreign direct investment, but it's a completely different scenario when you empower the next generation of decision makers to be potential wealth creators, to be people with the ability to fathom the intellectual capacity of the nations that they belong to.
The biggest impact that Bridge to Rwanda has had on my life was that it gave me room to explore my passions, and through discussion with my colleagues, I came to identify that specific place where my contribution is most needed.
My hopes for Bridge to Rwanda for the next 10 years and beyond is seeing all these young Africans who are passionate about transforming lives in their countries. I can't wait to see the impact that they bring. Each one finding their specific calling and going at it and transforming lives and building economies.
Honestly speaking, I can say Bridge to Rwanda has completely changed my life. It has really shaped me to the person that I am right now. I reached in Bridge to Rwanda. At first I found people, but when I found people, I found life there. Bridge to Rwanda is life to me.
Bridge to Rwanda has impacted my life by helping me when I was applying for a school of my dream. I'm so grateful for Bridge to Rwanda because through their assistance I was able to get an admission and scholarship to attend Texas A&M University. Each day I was excited to go to a college of my dream. I am very grateful and thankful for the existence of Bridge to Rwanda.
The biggest contribution Bridge to Rwanda has made in the past 10 years, one is the inclusivity of the program, which empowers scholars to go out and change communities. Also the career readiness. Bridge to Rwanda transforming scholars from different socioeconomic backgrounds into young professionals who are aspiring to transform the communities. I think that's a very great contribution and it's very exciting to see.
Bridge to Rwanda is a family for me. It reminds me that God loves me. God has a big plan for me and for my family. I'm so thankful to have been part of Bridge to Rwanda, and God bless everyone who made Bridge to Rwanda possible.
Bridge to Rwanda has enabled me to discover my potential, and it has given me tools that I need to walk through the future with the confidence. I have all the tools that I need to become the better person that I always desire to become.
One or two words that I think best describes Bridge to Rwanda over the last 10 years is life-changing, simply because it opens up opportunities that you could have never thought of. And the second word is generational, because it brings so much impact on a generational level. So the people who are in the first group are the people who are working with the 10th group, which is us. So it brings impact on a generational level.
I think the biggest impact Bridge to Rwanda has had on me as a scholar is that it offered me an opportunity and encouragement to dream more than myself, to dare and partner with amazing people, all passionate about positive change and giving back to the community. Isabukuru nziza Bridge to Rwanda.
My hope for Bridge to Rwanda is that the last 10 years have just laid the foundation of what lies ahead. Seeds that have been sown in the scholars and their families start bearing fruits for their respective nations. It will be a joy to watch what can come out of the scholarships that have been gained and the careers that have been launched.
Bridge to Rwanda impacted my life in a way I see the problems and how to solve them. It taught me that the true leadership or the true way of leading people is through serving them, seeing their problems as yours, and also solving them without your own benefits, but for the benefits of the entire society.
I'm very hopeful that I will get to experience the changing of this country, the advancement of the vision that we have. Because you have become part of a group of scholars that we continue to impact change in this nation. So I'm looking forward to work with you to achieve some of the best developments that this region and this country has ever achieved.
We are inspired by God's promise that a small group of friends who love each other, who share a common vision, who share a common spirit, will change the world.
Wow. All these amazing things have happened in the past 10 years. Only God knows what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I'm very excited that I get to be a part of it. Right about now, we're going to go to the speeches. We'll start with the student speeches. Allow me to welcome Brave Mugisha, representative of Group 10, and then Jael Habinam, another representative. Thank you.
Hello viewers, my name is Brave Mugisha, and I'm a Group 10 scholar, and I'm glad to be sharing with my story today. Now you'll hear most of us saying that Bridge to Rwanda was a life-changing experience. And that's because it's simply true in every sense of the word. I can assure you that our values, our personalities, our characters, and everything about us has tremendously evolved over the course of just 1 year. And it has been a unique journey, an extraordinary journey, and I want to share with you just a little bit of the wonder Group 10 experienced. Our first lesson at B2R was priceless. We quickly learned that no matter how gigantic or overwhelming a challenge can be, there will always be a way. Even amidst a merciless pandemic, we simply had to look hard enough and know that our community would come together, support each other, overcome any adversity in order to thrive exuberantly. After all, the future seemed impossible when everything shut down a year ago. But look where we are now. We are here because we found a way. But it is a way which we did not find alone, but with the help of a great and loving community at B2R. I am talking about the staff, the teachers, the advisors, though at this point I'd call them family. Ever since day one, everyone we met was constantly saying, "I'm here for you. How can I help? Talk to me." And now that I look back, I wonder, how can you not succeed with such amazing people and support? You know, we were very overwhelmed when we first started the program. New academics, we were just mesmerized by the sheer amount of things we did not know. But we had people like Eunice telling us, it's all going to be fine. We've all been there. That is what the B2R environment, academic environment is like. It is bound to succeed. We met a thick network of support from very unique individuals, B2R fellows, seniors, and staff with more than 15 years of experience, fellows working at the forefront of agricultural development, people fire-starting the Rwandan economy, people working in the president's office. These are great people, and they taught us great things. They expanded our minds in unimaginable ways, gave us lessons from wisdom of a lifetime, and helped mold us into what we are today. They did so with great professionalism, all the while creating a deep personal bond with each one of us. I remember meeting Luke and Shast and all our teachers for the first time and thinking, is this really my teacher? Because they made us feel very comfortable and very at home at B2R. And those are the people that helped us find a way. Still, finding a way was not easy. Our admission tests got cancelled, our admissions became terrifyingly uncertain. When we finally went to class, things were hard. I never knew I could fail to find words to write an essay, much less know how to structure it. It's easy to look at B2R and dwell on its success and promises, but there is an incredible amount of work that goes on in the background. This work was sometimes tiresome, incredibly stressful, and generally demoralizing, up until the point of affecting one's mental health. A point where you think, why am I even still doing this? And personally, I failed so many times, more than I can count. But my failure was magical. Each time I failed, I kept coming back stronger and wiser. And I recognized it was the same for all of us as a group. We kept finding a way and coming back stronger. It was not because of my strength, but because of the people around me. My Group 10 family helped me find a way through storm and darkness. The love that my friends showed me kept me going. Now, at the risk of sounding cheesy, let me talk about this love, which for me is encapsulated in each of these Group 10 scholars. There is what we have all heard, that these are the best and brightest scholars in the country with great intellectual prowess. And time again, I've witnessed that this is true in every sense. I kid you not, we have math geniuses. People like Ig who will solve an equation before they even read the prompt. We have philosophers, people like Georgette who've read Dostoevsky and all those great philosophers at the age of I don't even know. We have astounding poets. JL will set your heart on fire. We have jaw-dropping artists, people like Allegra. We have singers. And if you know Jack and his contagious laughter, then you know we have future comedians as well. We also have exceptional leaders. People like Fabrice, Iguette, Aimé, each one of them is a leader. These people are pathfinders, waymakers, and they're set to change the world. It is no surprise that they find a way in the most daunting situations. Yet I am always bewildered by how humble they are. I know that however much they seem impressive, there also comes a time where they have absolutely no idea what's going on. Those moments show great humility and kindness, because instead of competing and tearing each other apart, as you would expect from any highly academic environment, they come together and work together. Each of these individuals would literally give up what they're doing to just help you. I remember one day I was taken aback when I was staring willfully at one person, thinking how they could be so kind and so caring, because I had never done economics in my life, and we had economics finals coming on in a few weeks, and we also had very many essays to write. And she basically took the whole entire afternoon, left whatever she was doing, to just come and help me out with economics. This is to show you that these people are servant leaders, and they pour out their love for their friends, families, country, and our shared humanity. This was our life for this past year, and this was our secret that never failed to find a way. Looking ahead, there is still a long way to go. This is an unfinished story, but so far, it has been a story of erupting passion, unbelievable love, and uncontainable euphoria when we screamed and laughed after receiving our admissions. So far, it has been a story of weakness and strength, joy and pain, sweat and fun, the entire palette of emotions and states of mind. For a story so diverse and all over the place, you have, dear viewers, probably already realized that this story is about the people that always find a way together. The people that forge a path and exemplify the power of love and unity in the world. I'm talking about every wonderful person that I met during this year at B2R and Group 10 to be precise. To think there was a Group 9, a Group 8, Group 7, and all the way to scholars and fellows like Nancy, Happiness, Norris, Shast, a generation of revolutionary pathfinders. Our story is just incredible in its own way. Now, I can't wait to see all the things these individuals are going to go on and do in the future. And I can't help but feel safe and fulfilled knowing that the future lies in more than capable hands. But without jumping to the future, our present moment is that of bittersweet endings. We suddenly find ourselves at the end of the road with people we loved so much and so hard, and we just wish it would have lasted a little bit longer. But although it will not be the same, I know we'll have these people in our lives forever. In other words, this is not a story about regret. Quite the contrary. It's a story of gratitude and appreciation. It's a story about B2R, about incredible people that love each other. It's a story about living our humanity and serving with great courage and affection. It's also a story of a lifetime. A story about learning, even just a little, about what it means to always find a way.
Dream big, child. This is an expression that, for decades, has been the motto of inspirational speakers, the basic parent advice, and the most popular youth maxim. Dream big. While I do not aim to undermine the power and wisdom of this expression, I would like to stress the unfairness and injustice that it has carried through ages. When saying this, we forget that there are people from whom the simple right to dream has been taken. A great number of young Africans are held captives in situations where they cannot allow themselves to dream, in the fear of losing track of reality and falling to never get up. Some are trapped in situations of war and conflict where the only dream they have is to survive. How can you think about success when you do not even know if you'll make it the other day? Some are trapped by their financial and social status, which prevent them from exploiting their abilities. How can you access and enjoy the education you need if you have difficulty finding basic human needs like clothes, food, or housing? And others are trapped in cycles of untreated psychological traumas. Trauma caused by years of wars and violences which have left them with wounds and bruises that sometimes are too deep to heal. How do you ask a person whose humanity has been taken and trampled on to dream while the burden of pain and silence prevent them from lifting their heads and seeing what the world has to offer? This is why I think that simply telling young people to dream big is a euphemism. It contributes to building the idea that this new generation's failure comes from a lack of courage and perspective. However, our generation is drowning not by lack of will, but by lack of opportunity. When we try to swim in the ocean of dreams that separate our reality from our expectations, we are often captured in a storm of inequality, unfairness, injustice, and judgments. This is why we need opportunities and support to prove that we are capable. Personally, I was lucky enough to fund a program whose simple name meant everything I always longed for: a bridge. Not a bridge between Kigali and the Sioni jungle I always dreamed to run away to since I read about Mowgli and Baloo, but a bridge between all the dreams I had and the hard reality of life. Bridge to Rwanda is like a lighted path that allows me to calmly dream and plan my future because I know that the opportunities are viable just waiting for me to look for them. This is a luxury that I will never take for granted. When I talk about Bridge to Rwanda, I see an organization, a family, and a program whose meaning lay in the very definition of its name. A bridge, as we all know, connects two separated plots of lands. However, the bridge I am talking about today does not connect lands but lives. Bridge to Rwanda connects people from different nationalities. Bridge to Rwanda connects dreams and reality. Bridge to Rwanda connects potential and opportunities. Bridge to Rwanda connects the perilous pasts of some of us to a more certain future. I cannot recall the number of times I was told not to be enough or was deprived of opportunities, not because society was against me, but simply because it perceived me as unable. Many of my colleagues may relate to this. You are born in a low-income family, you study in a very basic high school, and you come from a very popular sector like Gikondo, Nyamirambo, or Birere, for those who know Goma. Once those elements are put together, society already perceives you as an outcast or just as incompetent. This sad reality makes it difficult for people from modest areas like mine to climb the ladder of success and advance in society. However, Bridge to Rwanda believed in me. It believed in all the 24 people who constitute the Scholars Group 10. It looked beyond our awkward accents because it realized that with the good methods, we would be able to speak better. It looked beyond our background because it knew that we are not responsible from where we come from, but we hold the desire to build a better future. It even looked beyond our grades and marks to search for the servant leader who lay inside every Bridge to Rwanda scholar. It is usually said that we are selected according to our grades. I cannot contradict this, but it is not the complete truth. If it was just about marks, I do not think I would be sitting here today. When I did my interview, I met many higher achieving and more intelligent students than me. I remember going back home and telling myself, JL, there is no way an institution as selective as Bridge to Rwanda is going to choose you among all those geniuses you met there. Girl, forget about it and start looking for other ways to afford university. When you have seen so many doors closing at your nose, learn to accept it and move forward despite the bitterness of failure. However, Bridge to Rwanda decided that they needed that shy poet inside me, who I was used to hiding because what's poetry in a capitalistic world where money speaks more than words? However, Bridge to Rwanda taught me that poetry can be a weapon against oppression and a sword that destroys the silence in which the flaws of our societies have found shelter. Bridge to Rwanda asserted that my dreams and the one of every one of my colleagues were worth the investment and that my person had enough potential to be here today and be a part of the change that it fosters. This is what our generation needs. We need you, our parents, our communities, our teachers, our sponsors, and our countries to believe in us. To believe in the potential we hold inside us. To believe in our capacity to realize that those dreams that you encourage us to have. To believe in our will to succeed and our will to take our communities up to the hill with us. Programs like Bridge to Rwanda remind us that Africa holds capacity, intelligence, and power. When I see what my other brothers and sisters achieve after college or while in college, I realize that my people, my generation, we are strong and able. Congolese, Rwandan, Burundians, and South Sudanese, just to cite the few countries represented in Bridge to Rwanda, we are stronger and higher achiever than what we have been taught through history. And it is only through education, that we can discover it. At Bridge Rwanda, we are taught to think like actors and authors of our societies, and not like simple victims or witnesses. Whatever our situation is, Bridge Rwanda gives us the environment required to build armors of convictions, arguments, mental strength, and success to be the main characters of our stories and to be the supportive people that our nation needs. We are young poets whose words are meant to heal the broken hearts of population and blow love in the ashes of grudge. We are inspiring engineers whose talents and gifts long to rebirth the old prosperity and unity of Africa. We are aspiring doctors whose dreams are to use knowledge and hurt to heal physical and emotional wounds. And we are aspiring scientists whose dream is to bring colors and life in a continent that has been long unanimated. We are Africa, a continent that, after years of asphyxia, wants to show its potential, defend its authenticity, affirm its identity, and prove its value. As serious as Bridge Rwanda scholars can seem, we are still teenagers and young adults still fighting the passions of our hormones, losing sleep over love struggles, trying to convince ourselves that our bodies probably look better than what we see in the mirror, and that our weaknesses do not determine our worth. All these wonders and thoughts may have sometimes biased our view of the world and blurred our discernments. Here again, Bridge Rwanda played the role of listener and advisor. We learned not just to assert our opinions, but also to listen to the world around us. To accept that we can be wrong, sometimes or most of the time, and that it is okay, because we are human, and that we should always be flexible and open to change and improvements without having to lose our identity. We learned that it is okay to be close to or already in our 20s and still feeling lost. We learned that sometimes we need to give credit to our failure because they teach us a better way to do things, and that we need to appreciate every single step we make in life because moments never come back. And there is no worse regret than realizing that we have been running after memories we forgot to capture. The rehearsing sessions of our final theatrical piece, the first day we finally got to meet in person after months of online classes, the lunches with our mentors, the game nights we had some weekends, all those are simple moments that I learned to appreciate and cherish. What I am most grateful for in Bridge Rwanda is the intellectual, self-discovery, and spiritual journey that I have been allowed to take. Now that I do not have any deadline to meet, I can take the time to thank all my teachers for all the complicated but rich readings they gave us. I can say thank you for all the times you pushed me out of my comfort zone and taught me to express myself. Thank you for the space you gave all of us to be ourselves, to make mistakes, to go out of our comfort zone and learn. Bridge Rwanda is a sign of hope. The hope that social and economic barriers can be broken. The sign that African children will one day be able to have equal access to education and opportunities. But especially, the hope that unity is not something impossible in Africa. If we consider the fact that the young people present in this program are the future leaders of Africa, we can picture the same scenario a few years ahead and expect them to be seated the same way they have been sitting in classrooms for 1 year to discuss the future of Africa with the same passion, love, and understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to give you a proposition that Bridge Rwanda gave me a few months ago. Let's make bridges. Let's connect. Let's dream for each other. Let's support each other. Let's build a better Africa together. Thank you.
Wow, these were such amazing speeches. Thank you so much, Brave and Jael. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of the both of you. I'm so proud of your journey, where you've come from and where you are right now. You are amazing representatives for other students. So thank you so much. Right now, let's welcome Del Dawson, the founder and CEO of Bridge Rwanda, and an inspiration to all of us. Let's welcome him.
I want to congratulate all of you in Group 10 Bridge Rwanda Scholars for completing your Leadership Academy this year and for the great job you did earning scholarships to some of the best schools in the world. You, despite COVID and the fact that you weren't able to live together for the first 7 months of the program, you did as well as any of the 9 cohorts before you. Your test scores were great, your admissions, your applications were good, and you were able to be as successful getting scholarships as any group we've ever had. We hope you learned a lot in this process. Hard work, tenacity, and working on with your own self-independence. Hopefully all of that will be great for you when you go to college, learning how to be self-starter and to learn things on your own. It certainly helped Bridge Rwanda this year. Our academic team learned how to teach remotely and online, and that's going to prepare us to be able to help a lot more students in the future using some of these tools and some of these experiences we had with y'all in Group 10. You've done a terrific job. We're very, very proud of you. We want to congratulate you and your families, your communities on this great accomplishment. In addition to celebrating your completion of the program and your being awarded these great scholarships, we want to celebrate that your class was the 10th class, and this is our 10-year anniversary for the Bridge to Rwanda Scholars Program. This program started now a decade ago when President Kagame and other leaders in Rwanda asked Bridge to Rwanda if we would create a new program that would allow Rwandan students to burst the bottlenecks, particularly English proficiency, to be able to win full scholarships abroad. Over the years, we've added some great students from Burundi, from DRC, and from South Sudan, who've added a whole new dimension to the program, and hopefully we'll be building fellowships of Bridge to Rwanda scholars all across East Africa. When President Kagame asked us to build this program, we decided to do a gap year, and we pulled in academic teachers who could teach English, college counselors, and eventually career advisors to help our scholars build the Bridge to Rwanda Fellowship. Over the last 10 years, we've helped almost 300 students win over $65 million of scholarships to over 80 of the best universities in the world. We couldn't be prouder of what has been created and for the job that all of our Bridge to Rwanda scholars have done over the last 10 years. We're looking forward to growing the impact of Bridge to Rwanda scholars in Rwanda and in East Africa over the next 20 or 30 years. When we started the program, Rwanda had cast a vision for 2020 about all the things they wanted to accomplish by the end of the decade. Today, Rwanda has a new vision. It's called Vision 2050, and its goal is to see Rwanda transition from a growing, small, undeveloped country to a high-growth, high-income country over the next 30 years. No countries in Africa have accomplished this goal. They've only been accomplished in the last century by the Asian tigers, Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, and Hong Kong. Those lessons from those Asian tigers has gone all over Asia to China and Vietnam and many, many other Asian countries. One of the things that all of those countries that grew so significantly over the last 50 to 70 years was the need for talented, globally educated young people to come back to the country and to provide the role of managers, leaders, entrepreneurs to help build companies and enterprises across all the sectors of the economy, from education to healthcare to government to the private sector to business to agriculture. In order for countries to progress and to develop and to grow rapidly, one of the critical ingredients is high capacity talent. The next 30 years, from 2021 to 2050, is going to be your time. This is going to be the period that your career will be able to make a difference in the continent of Africa. Today we are commissioning you to become ambassadors for Bridge to Rwanda, for your families, your communities, your countries, and for all of Africa. You're going to find when you go abroad that very few people really know very much about Africa, and you may be the first person that they meet that can tell them what Africa is really like. We know that you are equipped to do this. We know that you have a purpose bigger than yourself in order to go to college. You'll find that most students in the United States do not enter with a purpose in life that gives them strength to decide how they're going to live and what they're going to live and what they're going to get out of the 4 years of university. We know, based on all the scholars that have gone ahead of you, that the next 4 years are going to be wonderful, they're going to be challenging, but that you will come back a stronger person with much better insights into how to be a leader. Rwanda and East Africa need leaders. It needs globally educated young leaders who can assume great responsibility earlier in their career. Today, when we look at the B2R Fellowship, the thing that we're most proud of is that of all the students who've gone through the program, have gone to university for 4 years and have come back, all of them are assuming great responsibility early in their career. It's an amazing asset for the countries in order to accelerate their growth and to be able to grow the kind of institutions and enterprises necessary to improve the lives of everyone in the country. We challenge you to take the next 4 years seriously and to prepare yourself with the future in mind, because these 4 years will go quickly, and the next 30 or 40 years will be your time. This will be your opportunity to make a difference in the world and a difference in God's kingdom. God bless. Congratulations. We love you. Stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Dale Dawson, for your wonderful speech. It's always a pleasure to listen to your words of wisdom. Now let's welcome our keynote speaker, Christelle Mubyeyi, an analyst at Darbrug, and also a Group 5 scholar who graduated from Yale University.
Hello, my name is Christelle Mubyeyi. I am a Bridge to Rwanda Fellow. I was initially part of Group 5 and now happy to be here to speak to you on your graduation. So as you embark on new and unique journeys, two things come to mind. First, congratulations. You've taken some real risk and courage, committing a year to sit through countless SAT and TOEFL classes amidst a raging pandemic and leaning into the uncertainty of what that will mean for your educational prospects. I remember being in your shoes 5 years ago. I remember the anticipation and the lingering feeling that we had accomplished something as a class. We were not only graduating from a program that had shaped new bonds, but also gave us access to new possibilities and new hopes for the future. Similar emotions might be running through all of you, but you now have blank pages filled with the weight of expectation of what's to come, and on some, the nervousness of leaving comfort and family behind. Yet, with the unfamiliar comes the light of possibility of shaping and owning your journey. The illustrious poet and writer Audre Lorde once said, The quality of light by which we scrutinize our lives has a direct bearing upon the product by which we live and about the changes which we hope to bring about through those lives. There is a temptation to try and mirror the lives that you've been taught to seek and live, and to ensure the continuity of ideas long defined before you. However, I hope that you'll find it in you to scrutinize those ideas not only for how they define your lived experiences, but also for how they shape how you encounter and interact with others. So what do I mean by scrutinizing those ideas, you might ask? It means taking the time to understand what you long for and charting the path to the kind of individual that you want to become. This might mean that you're not the doctor or engineer that your parents hoped you'd become. This might also mean that you're taking some time off to pursue an opportunity to learn a new language in a foreign country, or simply to re-engage with who you are and who you want to become. Charting your own path, however, does not mean leading a solitary journey. It means you will need trusted partners, people willing to accompany you and cheer for you as you make sense of it all. It means not shying away from taking space, asking hard questions, and relying on your friends, your teachers, your advisors, in fact, your network at Bridge to Rwanda. I hoped that memories you'll make will be ones filled with discovering new horizons, building new relationships, paying tribute to those who helped you get there, and becoming the person you'll be in the next 4 to 5 years. But above all, I hope that you will find something to bring you closer to living lives of service and lives bigger than your own selves. Congratulations, Group 10. All the best as you go forward.
Wow, Christelle, that was such an amazing speech. Thank you so much. This is the moment you all have been waiting for, the presentation of certificates for the Group 10 scholars. Join me. Eme Ismail Bjirinjiro, Texas Christian University. Akur Santo Duarte Mading, Abilene Christian University. Anne Monique Uwamahoro, Westmont College. Allegria Iteka, Whitman College. Brave Jeremy Mugisha, Harvard University. Cecilia Nyabethu Salvador, Oklahoma Christian University. Diane Musabese, University of Notre Dame. Emmanuel Malu Deng, Columbia University. Fabrice Ponzenzi, Abilene Christian University. Gassana Moise, Brown University. Georgette Uwera Milaneza, Yale University. Gerson Asifiwe Habishuti, MIT. Iget Rugwiro, Oklahoma Christian University. Innocent Mubito, Northwestern University. Jacques Muhire, Texas Christian University. Jamira Swalat Isa, Hendrix College. Jael Habinam Claudia, Princeton University. Leandre Sabimana Disanze, Pomona College. Lidi Buradi, Washington and Lee University. Marisa Musenga, Swarthmore College. Ig Muchomanzi, University of Pennsylvania. Patience Mukundirukuri, Dartmouth College. Peace Ella Ishimwe, Babson College. Piok Deng Mayik May, Dartmouth College. Congratulations, Group 10 scholars. What a journey it's been. I'm so proud of all of you. You've been doing so well, such an amazing job, throughout your time here at British Rwanda. And I'm very, very excited to see you continue this journey in college. All the amazing things that are ahead of you, I can't even imagine. I'm excited for you, and congratulations once again. Now is the perfect time to welcome Pastor James to commission our Group 10 students with a blessing and a word of prayer. Thank you.
Dear Bridge to Rwanda board members, staff, scholars, parents, family and friends, it is always a great honor for me to be part of this commissioning ceremony of the scholars, and every year I never take each occasion for granted. I always count it as a great privilege and a great blessing. And as for Bridge to Rwanda, scholars, especially Group 10 that we are commissioned today, it has been such a wonderful time for me to spend the gap year program we've had with you as we continue to grow together in God's Word through discipleship and servant leadership. On this occasion of commissioning Group 10, I have a few words of encouragement or exhortation and a prayer. Allow me to start with a few words of exhortation. I have chosen two scriptures from the Bible that I'm going to share today on this wonderful occasion. The first scripture is in Genesis chapter 12, verse 2, and it reads, "I will make you a great nation, I will bless you, and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing." The second scripture is in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1 says, "My well-beloved has a vineyard on a very fruitful hill. He dug it up and cleared out its stones and planted it with the choicest vine. He built a tower in its midst and also made a winepress in it." So, listen to so he expected it to bring forth good grapes. And as I share these two scriptures, there are two things that are common with both scriptures. We find that in these two scriptures, God was speaking to Abraham and Israel respectively. He spoke to Abraham and said that he's going to bless him, make his name great, and that Abraham shall be a blessing. In this scripture, we have two key words that I want to encourage you with. And those two words are the top line blessing and the bottom line blessing. So in the top line, God is promising Abraham that he is going to bless him. He's going to make his name great. But there was a bottom line blessing. And the bottom line was what God expected from Abraham. The bottom line was that you shall be a blessing. Top line, God will bless Abraham. He will make his name so great. He will bless him. Whoever blesses him shall be blessed. Bottom line, Abraham is expected to be a blessing. What do I mean here? We are blessed to be a blessing. God is speaking to the people of Israel in Isaiah chapter 5 from verse 1. He likens Israel to a vineyard and said, my well-beloved had a vineyard, and he placed it on a fruitful hill. And when God talked about the vineyard, he meant Israel to be his vine, to be his vineyard. He placed them on a fruitful hill. So the top line is God chose Israel. The top line, God placed them on a fruitful hill. The top line, God did every work in their midst to bless them. He removed every stone, removing all the hindrances from their fruitfulness. He blessed them, gave them opportunities. The bottom line, God expected them to bear good grapes. Group 10, I just want to remind you, you are blessed people. You are very blessed. In the first place, you know that God has placed you on a very fruitful hill. That is the B2R family, the Bridge to Rwanda family. And God has blessed you with all these opportunities you found in your gap year. God has blessed you with wonderful colleges that you're going to be joining now. God has blessed you with loving families that are supporting you. God is blessing you with great lecturers that are going to teach you. God is blessing you with great courses you're going to follow, whether engineering, management, social sciences, whichever kind. God is blessing you with exposures to wonderful nations, developed countries, beautiful universities, well-knowledgeable faculty or professors. All those are blessings, but remember, those are top-line blessings. And when God blesses you with top-line blessings, you need to ask this question: what does God expect from me? What is the bottom line? For Abraham, when God blessed him, the bottom line was that Abraham shall be a blessing. For Israel, when God blessed them, the bottom line was he expected that they will bear good grapes. B2R, Group 10. God has given you enormous blessings, enormous top-line blessings. What does God expect from you? After all those blessings that you are getting from your colleges, from universities, from all the sponsors, from the host families, from the friends, from your families, from your nation, with all these blessings God is giving you through all these channels, God expects a bottom line blessing from you, and that you shall become a blessing. When you go out there and you are blessed with all the blessings you're gonna find, always remember, God expects from me something. And what does God expect from you? Is that when you are fully equipped, fully educated as you're gonna be, blessed with all those blessings, when you come back, be a blessing to your nations. Be a blessing to your families. Be a blessing to your communities. Be a blessing to your generation. Be a blessing to B2R family. Be a blessing to all those people that God will make your path cross with. God bless you. We wish you all the best. And right now, I just want to pray a commissioning prayer together with your families, together with your friends, together with the Bridge to Rwanda family. We want to stand together and speak this blessing to you. And that is the blessing that I always like to pray in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 23. Let me pray with you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you May the Lord be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may the Lord give you peace and bring you back to your nations to be a blessing to your nations, a blessing to your families, a blessing to your friends, a blessing to your societies, to your communities. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor James, for your very encouraging words for the Group 10 scholars. I know they are ready now to go to college. Right now, let's have a slideshow that showcases the amazing Group 6 students who just graduated from university. Enjoy. I cannot believe I've come to the end of this amazing commissioning. Congratulations once again, Group 10. It's been such an amazing ride. And for those who have been able to join us, thank you so much. I hope you had an amazing time. I was your host, Norris Kaitari. Cheers and take care.